Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel, where it's time for another Premier League match preview. And this time it's Liverpool against Newcastle United. And who better than to bring on one of the loveliest people you will ever meet in podcasting and YouTube world? It's the lovely Kendall Rowan. How are you, Kendall?
Yeah, I'm really, really good. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I'll take that. I'll take it all day long. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Oh, it is a pleasure. It is an absolute pleasure. And we were just saying off air, because obviously, if people don't know about it, you are an Atletico Madrid supporter as well. You must be sick and tired of the sight of Liverpool.
Well, I did say I might be more sick after the result tomorrow. You never know, especially with Newcastle, because I had a little bit more faith in Atleti, especially in the Champions League. But we made it very, very difficult for ourselves getting to the round of 16 on the last match day. But yeah, Liverpool seem to be a constant feature in my life. Obviously, Premier League it is a thing, but Atleti as well, because we had you guys this year in the group stages, and not last year but the year before in the Champions League. Also had you then. So always things to be popping up here and there, Liverpool.
Absolutely. Let's say hello to a few people. Hello to Michael Talks Football. Big up Doug Kendall. I think the Premier League will suspend play for a couple of weeks after Boxing Day. Very interesting. Hello to Hussam. Big up Hussam. I think Newcastle getting relegated. Question whether they're going for ASM on a discount.
He's just saying it wide as well. I know he is. Just saying it.
He is. Big up Hussam, obviously. Good to speak to you. Hello to Tom May as well. And hello to Jamie Phillips, Football Chats. Now, I know there are other games going on. In fact, Wolves are beating Brighton by 1-0. It's 2-2 between Crystal Palace and Southampton. And if you're watching Arsenal West Ham, then come over to us. Come over to and see our preview anyway.
How we're getting cooked by Arsenal.
Are they?
I did say that. I haven't been watching the game, but apparently this is according to Twitter, so you never know.
Yeah, we shall see anyway. But I have to ask you this. I know this might be a bit of a daft question, but what have you made of your season so far? Has it gone a little bit surprisingly bad?
I wouldn't say surprisingly bad. Probably expectedly bad. I think it's just this season's a bit of an anomaly. No club in the world has probably been taken over in the position that we are in now and become as wealthy as a club as we are in the position we are right now. So this is like it's a completely different scenario for fans, for just football fans in general, the media, football clubs in general. I think it's just a very different, something that people haven't navigated before. So far, I knew that when we didn't strengthen in the summer necessarily, because I say we didn't strengthen, people will say, well, you got Joe Willock. Yes, but we also had Joe Willock last season. This is what I mean by strengthening. So we got someone that we were already very well aware of, and that's fine. I was totally understanding of Joe Willock coming in. I understand that. Maybe people will look now and say, well, that wasn't a good deal, but we do need to give him some time still. He left a club that he had been at since he was like 8 years old to move. So I'm not going to sit there and, already get on his back. It's just not fair. And we didn't strengthen at all in any areas that we needed to. Injuries have hit us really badly. Suspensions have hit us really badly this time around. So I think we're probably exactly where we need to be at the moment. There's been a couple of games where it's been very annoying, like Norwich, for example, Kieran Clark getting sent off in 9 minutes. That was a must-win for us, and then we ended up drawing that game. Southampton, we conceded a penalty in the 92nd minute when we were 2-1 up, so that was like a game that we should have had points from. So it's just a little bit of a frustrating season, but it's almost like I just want it out of the way now. I want the season done. I want us to stay up and then just see where we go from there.
Yeah, definitely. Apparently, Arsenal just scored against West Ham. I'm just seeing on my just in my iPad just came up. Apparently, Martinelli has scored as well. Oh, here we go. I don't think this is one comment you want to say to.
This is what I mean.
No, for me, Steve Bruce should have gone ages ago. Anyway, hello to Statman Stubbs. You're doing very, very well. Whoops, my phone has just gone completely pear-shaped. I think Newcastle stay up. They will buy well in January. I will ask her about that, actually. Watching Arsenal West Ham is like watching paint not dry.
Wow.
And hello to Devils United. I hope you are doing very, very well. But you did manage to get your first win against Burnley. How much of a relief was that, knowing that you were the last team in the 92 clubs to get a win?
Yeah, it was just, it was just another thing, wasn't it? Oh, Newcastle United that, and then we were the only two in 92 clubs only one in 92 clubs not to get a win. That relief on that post that game was like bigger than anything I think I've ever felt in. Obviously, if anyone doesn't know, I've had a season ticket since 2006 for Newcastle. So I'm coming into my 15th season now. This is my 15th season. And like, I've not experienced many highs. I must admit, not many. Europa League, when we came 5th with Alan Pardew, and the Championship win under Rafa. And it was just like there was people crying after the Burnley win. And that might seem like, oh, that is so pathetic. But I honestly just think like it was just a built up like stress, frustration of the season ahead, like just what had gone before. And we were so desperate for the win, and it eventually came. Maybe people might call it a lucky win, but that's okay. And it came. So yeah, sadly we have not been able to capitalize on that win as of yet. And this run in December is just a nightmare for us at the moment. As I was saying to Doug before, we've got Liverpool tomorrow. Obviously, we had Leicester on Sunday, Liverpool tomorrow, Man City on Sunday, Manchester United on the 27th, and then Everton on the 30th. So this run is like the worst of just anything that we need right now going into January. So I think a lot of us just want this month out of the way and then see where we're at in January.
Yeah, as soon as you get that run out your minds, bloody hell! I didn't think it was that bad, but my goodness me, Man City, Man United, back to jeez, that is shocking. But obviously, we will obviously talk about January because obviously you have had the big takeover. Has there been a bit of a lift in the city knowing that you've had a takeover?
Yeah, definitely. Like, obviously, people will have seen the scenes outside in the city, outside the stadium when the takeover was announced. It's just like a general nicer feeling on match day. Like, honestly, I've said this before. We have 3 season tickets between us, so there's like me, my 2 brothers, and my dad, and it all just depends on who goes when out of my brothers because they both play football on a weekend. And we were fighting at one point about who was going to the games. And we were like, you go, it's all right. You go. And like we were arguing over who was taking the tickets because nobody wanted to go and watch what was happening at the time. And then the takeover happened. So now like we all want to go, and that just shows the difference to me because we actually really want to go and we're really happy now. It's not a chore match day anymore to go, even though we're in the position that we're in right now. It's still not a chore. It's good. So yeah, it's nice. The city's definitely lifted. So I can only imagine the scenes after our first win against Burnley, a 1-0 win against Burnley that left us 19th in the table, like still.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what the city would be like if we actually were successful in some regard, even like top 10. Like, I just can't even imagine what it would be like. So yeah, it'd be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello to Nippon, big up Douglas and Kendall. Thank you very much for tuning in, Nippon. So, I do have to ask you this. How much do you think you will spend in January?
I want us to spend frugally, if you will. I don't want us to act like a broke club because we're not. But also, I want us to be very, as I say, very frugal. I want us to be very specific in where we spend the money and make sure it's on quality, not on like just random panic buys, because clubs will see us coming from a mile off, and we know this. As football fans, we've got to not be naive. Well, Newcastle fans, we've got to not be naive in how the window's going to go. Clubs are going to see us coming from a mile off. They're going to sense the desperation in where we're at right now in the situation, and they're going to want premiums, and I get that. The lucky thing is we can afford it. Now, I'm not saying going forward this should be the business model going forward. Like, well, we've got the money, just pay it. I don't want that to be the business model going forward. But because of we're in the position that we're in right now, that's unfortunate. It's just going to have to be it. What I don't understand is like we couldn't or wouldn't afford, depending on which way you look at it, a 4 million loan fee for Hamza Chowdhury in the summer. After we signed Joe Willock, and now there's fans saying, "Well, 30 million for Kieran Trippier is a joke." It's not your money for a start, so you know it's not. We're not spending your money. We can actually afford to spend this money, which is more than we've ever done before. Like for years, bloody Michael Owen was our record signing before like Albert and Joe Linton. So like, do you know what I mean? We've just not done that before. So I don't know how much, but I would rather it just be like 50-60 million on 2 really decent signings and then use the loan market, because I don't know who we're going to get rid of, because we have just so much, when I say deadwood, like literally deadwood, who we're going to have to actually physically ship out, because no one's going to want half the people in our squad that we need to get rid of. And also we don't know where we're going to be in 6 months. So we don't know. Yeah. There's not going to be players sitting there who play for like Everton, for example, and saying, "Oh, well, I'll just go to Newcastle because it's more money," because they'll literally be just going away to Stoke on a Tuesday night next season. Like, it's just stupid. No one's going to do that. So we really I think they'll utilise the loan market more and just get a couple of like decent quality signings in. That's what I hope anyway.
Obviously, you'll know all about Kieran Trippier. Are you happy with the potential signing in January?
Yeah, I'm over the moon with the Kieran Trippier signing. That is a signing that I would want, regardless of who had taken over us. I've a lot of people, if you've ever watched my Athletic content, I have sung his praises for a long time now. He was absolutely instrumental in our title win last season. I cannot explain that enough. The partnership that he had with Marcus Llorente down the right wing was incredible. And it's just something that right back and left backs are positions we've not strengthened for a long, long, long time. And if actually, to be honest, if you even go back like significantly in Newcastle's history, full backs are not a position that we've had excellent people in.
Yeah.
So I understand that if the talk is if he came, we would be doubling his wages. I get that. I think we're going to have to just get used to the fact that that's going to how it's going to be. For a while, I did also see that apparently Michael Owen is still our highest paid player in history, and he was like on 110,000 a week. Joe Linton is currently, and he's on 80,000 a week. So I think we're just going to have to get used to that. But that is a signing that could literally just him alone could just nip you up to that little bit of next level that you need. And we don't have a set piece specialist, and we haven't since Johan Kabay. So he's perfect.
Yeah, Johan Kabay, remember that name. Gave Manchester United so many problems ages ago. But as you said, I think, because obviously you've got, was it Emmy Kraft at right back? You've obviously got Manquillo as well. And, he'll be a big, big jump up to those two.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, to be fair to Manquillo, like, I really do like Manquillo, and I think he's probably the most underappreciated player in the squad. He always does a job when he comes on. I'm not saying he's a world beater by any means, but for us, he's always done a job, and it's probably a little bit disrespectful, to be fair to him. But Kieran Trippier is levels above him in every aspect, and we're not going to turn our nose up at an England international who is actually, when you look under Southgate, he's normally his first choice under Southgate just because of the way Southgate plays, and a La Liga winner. We're just not going to turn our noses up at that. I can't even remember the last time we had an England international, like on a, significantly, consistently. I can't remember. So, just no point in turning your nose up at that. I think he'll be a great addition.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, Sebastian. Hope you're doing well. Hello to Cedric Lopez. Napoons asked you a question. Would you sign Nicolas Sula in the summer? A player who seems to be on a bit of contract dispute with Bayern Munich at the moment. Yeah,
but obviously he'll be out of contract in the summer. So, if we could do that. But again, anything we do going forward from now depends on where we're at the end of the season. We're not going to sign Nicolas Sula in June or whatever, not June, but August, when we're going to be playing the Championship. We're just not going to do that. But if we stay in the league, Nicolas Sula would be someone I would be definitely looking at, but I doubt it's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. And so I think Sebastian, I think, is Swedish, so he's going to Emmy Kraft with a Sweden flag. So there we go. Eddie Howe. Obviously, was a very, very, I would say, popular choice to obviously take over amongst Newcastle fans. Has he done a lot of improvement than you thought he would when he first came in?
Oh, definitely. Like the football, despite the fact that we may not be getting results or whatever, it is just so much better. It's significantly better. He's improved already in the short space of time that he's had the last 3 weeks. Joelinton has just come on absolute leaps and bounds and has been man of the match for the last 3 games, which is something that I think people are just like, that's insane considering the abuse he used to get before. Again, Jamal Lewis has come in and to the side after being out of favour since early last season, and he's just looked significantly leaps and bounds ahead of where he was last year. Just the whole squad in general. Well, I say the whole squad defensively. He hasn't improved that at all, but forward thinking, the way that we play football is massive difference.
Yeah. Oh, Sebastian. I think if you ask this question, you probably have a big list. What players in the Prem do you want Newcastle to sign realistically?
So, as I've said quite a few times prior to this, if I've ever been asked this, I think that we should raid our league rivals, like in terms of position, the bottom half of the table's best players. That's what I think we should do. Now that might seem greedy. That might seem like, well, you want to take their best players, but yes, I absolutely do. if there's a way that we can steal, then that is going to be it. And plus, we need Premier League quality players. So, for example, Sven Botman's been mentioned several times. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad player at all. I think he's an extremely fantastic player and he's extremely young to be at the level that he's at. However, it is a massive risk to say to Sven Botman. By the way, I don't think he's going to come to Newcastle at all. But just because he's been mentioned, it's a massive risk to say to Sven Botman, come and play in the Premier League and keep us from getting relegated, because you don't even know how he's going to be in the Premier League. Like, look at Saul at Chelsea, for example. I've watched Saul for a number of years at Atletico, and I never in my life thought he would flop the way that he did at Chelsea. Like, it's actually a biggest shock to me ever, because some players just aren't meant for it. So yeah, Tarkowski for me. I'm not even saying Wolves are our league rivals, because they're not really. They're normally top half of the table. But Tarkowski, Conor Cody, James Ward-Prowse, like people like that. Jesse Lingard obviously has been mentioned quite a lot.
Yeah.
Ben Mee was another one that mentioned quite a lot from Burnley. Like Bissouma from Brighton, only if he's beat his allegations, by the way. I don't know if he has, but if he has, then okay. If he hasn't, then don't want to be anywhere near that. Like just people like that. So the best players from where you are around. Obviously, Zaha has been mentioned a lot. So yeah, people like that really.
What about Nat Phillips? Would you? You have been linked with him. You have been linked with him.
I don't mind Nat Phillips. I mean, look at how he played at San Siro the other week. Like he was fantastic.
Yeah, taking Kessie and Zlatan for a hot dog.
Yeah, he seems like he relishes a challenge. And just takes things in his stride, and I think that will be a good thing. I quite rate Nat Phillips, to be honest. It's just a shame that as a Liverpool player, you're defensively, you are just so solid and know where you're at that he doesn't really look in a lot. But I would take Nat Phillips absolutely, 100%.
Well, he said today that he wants to move. So he wants to move in January, so that could possibly be something. Hello to Stacey, hope you're doing well. I reckon Tellers would be a good signing for Newcastle. And Luis Diaz from Porto. Luis Diaz has actually been linked with Liverpool as well, which is quite interesting. As well.
We played Porto, like Atleti played Porto just a couple, like 2 weeks ago in the Champions League, and there was a couple of Porto players that actually looked really, really good. Is he called Taremi? I really like Taremi, but again, I just think that's just players that we probably will be looking at in the summer, depending on where we were. I don't think that's going to be like a January signing, because obviously like Origi has been mentioned several times as well, because we kind of need another forward, if you will. But I would take Origi 100%. But again, Luis Diaz is not someone that I would be looking at in January, just simply because we really need someone who can just go and play in the league like immediately. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Eddie Howe, is he the man long term, do you think? Or do you think the Newcastle owners have brought him in just now to then probably move him on?
I think they're playing a cautious game. They have only given him a 2.5-year contract. So
Yeah.
it is the rest of this season and 2 seasons after that. His contract ends in 2023. So for me, they've played a cautious game. If we get relegated, you've got a manager there who knows the Championship very well, knows how to navigate a squad out of that situation, and did extremely well with Bournemouth in the past and kept them in the league after got them promoted. If not, and we do stay up, then we can probably assess where we are in 2 seasons, see how the money's being spent, how players that we buy are being spent, how the team's being utilised, where we've progressed, and then they'll either extend it or they will. It's sad to say because I think Eddie Howe is a fantastic coach and I'm behind him all the way, but they might then look at further down the line, like a bigger name, if that makes sense, somewhere down the line. But yeah, I think they played a very cautious, very smart business move from them just to offer him that amount of time. Because again, just for the last part, if things don't work out and he does leave, they've only got to pay a year's compensation then, like at the end of the season. So it works out well, really.
Yeah, definitely. Hello to Almighty Blues. Hi, Douglas, Kendall, and all in the chat's big up. Yeah, absolutely as well. Right, past matches. Because we have to talk about this. Liverpool and Newcastle won. Now, we were speaking off air, and you actually said to me that you probably should have won that game, obviously, because of the stupid handball rule. And I have to agree with you. I thought you were robbed of a win last season.
Yeah, I think so. Well, when you look at it, the decision, I think that decision robbed us of that goal. You guys were on top of us for most of that game, if I remember rightly. And I think I remember a lot of Liverpool fans saying at the time, like, it literally should have been like 4-0, to you guys. And then we just ended up scoring 2 goals in the final moments of the game. But when you look at it really, on paper, yes, we probably should have had the win, but it just didn't work out like that. And honestly, if I could get a 1-1 draw tomorrow, I would take it right now. Like, just if someone just said to me, right, we're going to cancel the game tomorrow, we're going to forfeit the game, but it's 1-1, right? Yes, I'll take it. I will take it. I'll take 0-0 as long as we don't get smashed. I actually don't care. I will take that all day long. But I'm just not as confident probably in the draws that we had last season. I'm not as confident this time around.
Oh, here's the jokester of the pack. Dave's LFC chat. It's all right, Doug and Kendall. How did Eddie get the job in the first place? Oh dear.
I like it, Dave. You know what? I haven't heard nearly as much jokes about how as I would like, so I'm happy with that. I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cedric saying hi to Dave. Apparently, Arsenal have just gone 2-0 up against West Ham, and Soufal has been sent off for a second yellow. So that's not very, very good. And apparently, Anthony Taylor's ruined the game as well. There's a surprise.
Well, what a surprise! Oh yeah, did anyone see who's refereeing our game tomorrow?
Yeah, the man who likes to make it all about him, Mike Dean.
Mike Dean. So that's going to be exciting. Not for us.
Nippons asked Elia Mendy.
Oh, Lara Mendy, yeah. From Real Sociedad. I don't mind Lara Mendy. To be honest, before we signed Eddie Howe, I wanted the Sociedad's manager. That's what I wanted. But he's like a local guy, he knows a club quite well. I didn't think that was ever going to happen, but yeah, I wouldn't mind Lara Mendy. Wouldn't be like maybe my first choice, but again, I wouldn't mind him.
Yeah, definitely. Slightly high challenge at best. Unlucky for me. Saka should have had a pen in the first half to be. I'm not watching it, Anka. It was one of those games where I just thought, no, definitely not. So, also, yeah, the 0-0 game wasn't the most exciting, but it's another game where I think Newcastle probably shaded it, I would say.
Yeah, to be fair, when we go to Anfield, we're not that lucky. I don't know why. Well, I'm saying I don't know why, because Liverpool are miles ahead of us, always have been for like a significant number of years now. But the Newcastle, like when you guys come to St James Park, the results are up and down. Because I'm sure we beat you there like 2-1 2-1 a few years ago.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was under Rafa then. We beat you then. Like, it's just strange decisions. But again, as I say, I'm not as confident. Well, I probably wasn't confident last year in getting a result, but we did. But I'm way off that now. If it's 3-0, I think that's like good damage limitation really at this point. But defensively, we just have been so poor. I cannot see a 0-0 at all.
No, I can't. I think there will be goals in this game. I do think there'll be goals, but I'm not sure. Obviously, I know City scored 7 against Leeds last night, which obviously would have helped you guys because obviously, I think the thing is that the goal difference for Leeds is going to take a bit of a battering now. But I don't think Liverpool are capable of scoring, 5, 6, and 7s because when they take the lead, they always have a tendency to see the game out and not actually go for the kill. So I don't see it. Hello to my good friend Andrew Rogers. How the right man at the wrong time?
Yes, in a sense, because what frustrated me about the whole Howe coming in was the fact that it should have been done 3 weeks prior. If he was going to be the man, because we let it go 3 weeks with Graham Jones in charge, and that's not Graham Jones's fault at all. But we just wasted a lot of time where that he could have had that agile team together. We might have had a couple of wins in there at that point. So yeah, I do see what you're saying in terms of that, but time will tell. I think he's probably the perfect. Well, I don't say perfect because no one's perfect, but he is the best possible person that we could bring in right now for what we wanted, because we wanted attacking football. And he's got experience in the Championship and the Premier League and is very tactically sound. So yeah, I think he's probably just a good thing, but only time will tell, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. I've got it wrong. Apparently they missed the penalty. Well, Aubameyang's not on the pitch, so he always misses penalties. So I wonder who missed the penalty that time. I knew about that as well. The only thing about Howe is if Newcastle get relegated, he's the man to get them back up. I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. But yeah, most of the past fixtures are very, very tight. Anyway, right. Liverpool form so far. What have you made of Liverpool this season?
I think a lot of people wanted, the injuries. If you get another injury, you're going to be so bad. Like, you're going to do this, that, and the other. And it hasn't happened that way. You have had injuries, midfield specifically. And we've seen players like Jota come back, who has been, in my opinion, very good. Mo Salah has been on absolute fire this season. Alisson, another goalkeeper, just phenomenal goalkeeper. So Liverpool look good, I think. I again don't know what you're going to do in January, because I think clubs knew how desperate you guys were last January for a defender. Post Van Dijk, Joe Gomez wasn't fully fit for a significant amount of last season. I think did he start this season off injured or get injured early on?
He's.
Well, Matip's had his injury problems, so clubs saw you guys coming last season, and obviously you ended up getting Kanate in the summer, which at the time I thought was a really great signing, but he probably hasn't had his chance to shine really at the moment. But I'll be very surprised if you guys don't rotate tomorrow. I think obviously we'll probably get onto it later, but I think you guys will rotate quite a lot tomorrow, because you are, if I'm not mistaken, you're nearly at full fitness for most players. So yeah, I think you look really, really good. Obviously, a gap's grown a little bit at the moment between like Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and the rest of the league. So yeah, I think you guys are really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. Nippon, thank you. It was Lacazette. There we go. He knows that league and he'll clear the draw straight out of there. Yeah, one question I wanted to ask you. Out of the current first 11 or current squads, who would you keep?
To be honest, that's probably a better question than who would you get rid of, because maybe keep about 3 or 4 players. I'm not exaggerating. I would keep Dubravka, simply because the rest of our goalkeepers are atrocious. So I'll keep Dubravka. I would keep St. Maximin, Callum Wilson, Joe Linton, Joe Willock, and Jamal Lewis, simply because he's only 22 years old, and I think under the right coach can become a really good fullback. So yeah, 5 or 6 players, and I think that's probably me being generous as well. The whole squad needs to go for me. To be honest, if I look back, like 8 of our starting 11 usually was playing in the Championship for us 4 years ago. So.
Wow.
Like Dubravka, Manquillo, Fernandez, Lascelles, Kevin Clark, Matt Ritchie, Isaac Hayden, John Joe Shelby, were all playing for us in the Championship. So it's just mad. We have not done anything to that squad since then, apart from Joe Linton, St. Maximin, and Miguel Almiron was there at a point, but Callum Wilson, because obviously we signed Ryan Fraser, who doesn't really play. That's half on him though, because his attitude's all wrong. So Ryan Fraser, I think he'll have. By the way, I do think he'll be a player that comes good under Eddie Howe, because Eddie Howe has a good relationship with Ryan Fraser, and is quite a fan of him. We signed Jeff Hendrick, who doesn't play. So it's just embarrassing, really, when you look at the squad. It's just so neglected that I would probably only keep about 5 or 6 players, and that's me being generous.
Wow, my goodness me! I was hoping for maybe more 11 or something, but my goodness, 5 or 6. Dave says he hopes to get you on his channel soon. There you go.
Yeah, of course, Dave. Absolutely, just shout me.
And Andrew Rogers has said, "How's Kieran Clark a footballer? He is woeful." Yeah, that red card against Norwich. I watched that game, and I am just going through. Why on earth would you pull back Pookie after 9 minutes?
It's one of the first things, if you ever start watching football, one of the immediate things you learn is if you pull the last man back, it is a red card. It is it's just a very common, very normal, regular, commonsensical thing that you would know. Why did that, I don't know. A lot of fans won't forgive him. And would rather just not see him again. And I actually completely understand that, because that game for us was an absolute shoe-in win for us. We needed to win that game, and we obviously ended up drawing because we were down to 10 men. I must admit, to be fair, we played well with 10 men. But why he did that, I don't know. And it was one of the stupidest things I've seen this season. There has been a lot of stupid things, by the way, that I've seen this season, not from us, but from everyone. But why he did that, I don't know. And if he goes in January, I'll be saying ta-ra, to be honest.
It's like, thank you for your service, but go.
Yeah, bye.
And then Andrew Rogers has said, it's about as daft as Aaron's on Ronaldo in the Norwich game. Yeah, that he had him round the neck. Yeah, you don't do that. Sebastian, I did know about that, but unfortunately I'm working, so I will not be able to stream that anyway. But Nations League, it's glorified friendlies. Sorry, it just is. Fact, absolutely. Now, I have to ask you this. What is your starting 11? Because I did see that Fernandez has picked up an injury, which will not help.
No. And to be honest, he should have been starting. He should have been starting the last 2 games, but didn't. Came in against Norwich, obviously, because of Kevin Clark's stupidity, and ended up being man of the match. And then was just dropped immediately as Jamal Lascelles came back, which I still think is extremely strange. And sadly, he has picked up an injury now and does not expect to be available till January again, where I think he'll probably be leaving. Just simply, he's not being picked for squads. There's not any reason why. He's the best defender we've got, but there was talk that he was apparently a mole, and he was leaking information in the camp under Steve Bruce. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But he would have came in for me, but obviously we don't have that choice now. So I do think that will be largely unchanged from the last 2 games. So I think it'll be Dubravka, Manquillo, Lascelles, Shaw, Lewis, Almiron, John Joe Shelby. I think he may decide to put Hayden in there over Willock for a defensive aspect, maybe. Whether or not he does that, I don't know. He might think the opposite and think that he'll go all out attacking. But I wouldn't be surprised if Hayden came in for Joe Willock, just for, again, as a defensive aspect. Alan Maximin, Callum Wilson and Joe Linton, I think it'll be largely unchanged, simply because we don't have a choice. So yeah, unless he decides to play Ryan Fraser over Miguel Almiron, because as I said, he does like Ryan Fraser and he's fit again. So
yeah, definitely. Sebastian, I'm going to have to cut across you there. I disagree with that. I don't think we're going to have the same starting 11 because we have Spurs. I think we've got Leicester in the Cup coming up. We've got Leeds, Leicester again, and then Chelsea. So I think you will see some rotation tomorrow. So, now I said rotation, right? I'm going to say Alisson Becker will be in goal. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think Trent will be at right back. I'm going to go Konate to come in for Matip. I think Matip will be back in for Tottenham. I think Van Dijk will probably play this game. I think Tsimikas might come in for Robbo. I think Fabinho will keep his place. I don't see that one changing. I think Thiago will probably still keep his place. I also think Keita might come in for Henderson. I think Henderson might get a wee break there. And then I think what you'll see is if it depends if he's fit or not. Origi, I think Origi might come in for this game. I think Bobby might play this game, and I do think Salah will keep his place. So yeah, I think there will be a bit of rotation. I honestly do think there'll be a bit of rotation.
I definitely do. I think you can afford to, so you will. I don't. And plus, you'll want to get the most out of the likes of Navigator, the likes of Mo Salah, because, well, if AFCON goes ahead, you need to be using them before they go in January, really. And, if he comes on and scores 2 goals and you're 2-0 up, then you can just take him off again. It's not an issue. So, yeah, I definitely think he'll rotate. I think we'll see some different names. I wouldn't even be surprised if, Minamino, randomly starting out things. I just wouldn't even be surprised at things like that, because no one fears us, and I do not blame anyone, because we just look like the easiest team to play right now. So yeah, I definitely do think you'll rotate.
Yeah, absolutely. Sebastian, obviously I've just gone through my team. I don't think Van Dijk will be rested, but maybe it's a possibility. You could potentially see Konate and Matip. Or if Gomez is fit, then you might see Gomez. If Jones is fit, you might see Curtis Jones. The strength and depth that we've actually got at this moment in time, as Kendall said, we are very, very almost at full strength. So, and I don't think Klopp will be taking any necessary risks in playing Curtis Jones or Matip in this game anyway. Right. If I had to push you for a prediction, what would you say?
I've said this before, I never like predicting us to win, because predicting us to lose, because I just think it's bad vibes and negativity. But I'm also not delusional, and I do not think we're going to win at all by any means. As I said before, if it was 3-0, I'd be happy, and that's probably not far off what I think it's going to be. But you know what? We might score, so I'll say 3-1 Liverpool, but
3-1.
We might score. I don't know if we will. I don't think we will, but I'm not trying not to be too negative.
Well, Callum Wilson does like scoring against Liverpool, so he did it for Bournemouth. Actually, he likes scoring at Anfield. I think he scored in his last 2 or 3 trips to Anfield.
Well,
so I think he might.
Never know.
What am I going to go for? I don't think we'll batter you. I honestly don't. Yeah, I like 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1 as well. I think it could be 3-1. I think it could be 3-1. Now, I cannot let you go without talking about this. Now, obviously, if people that weren't here at the start of the show, what the bloody hell? The Champions League draw. What the bloody hell happened?
That was just wild. I don't know. It was like people couldn't even hide the corruption. F1 on Sunday, and Monday came around, and UEFA wanted a piece of their little corruption cake. I don't know what was going on. The one thing that was really stressing me though was people on Twitter saying oh well, it's because Atleti had a hard draw, so they're going to complain. No, I just need people to understand that the draw from the second fixture pulled out was illegal. The draw was void because it was incomplete. The balls were not put in the correct pots, and there was beyond 4 teams affected because it wasn't just our fixtures that were affected. It was everyone beyond that. So I just need people to understand that and grasp that concept, because it wasn't just because Manchester United are scared of PSG. It wasn't that at all. It was literally the draw was illegal. However, it did end up a little bit better in our favour because we did draw Bayern Munich in the first list, and then we obviously got Manchester United the second time round. So it did work out a little bit better for us. But to be honest, as I said, the way that Atleti are playing at the moment, the form that they're on, I wouldn't even be trusting them against anyone in that round of 16. I really wouldn't. But I suppose it didn't work out as well for you guys, depending on how you look at it, because you had Salzburg first and then you've got into Milan now. So I don't know how you feel, Doug. Maybe it was better for you. I don't know.
Salzburg have given us hard games over the past. I think there was a 4-3 at Anfield, and we beat them 2-0. But in Milan, we haven't played, I think, since 08-09. And that was when Fernando Torres was at his most finest. And I know how much you idolise Fernando Torres.
He's literally right here. He's there. He's here. Torres is my favourite.
Yeah, Torres that season was just something else. He was just a class act. And yeah, I am happy in a way, because obviously it gives players who couldn't play against AC Milan, because obviously the rotation there again, it'll give a chance for players to play in Milan again. So yeah, it's actually a very, very good draw, and I'm happy that we're obviously at Anfield second. But obviously the away goals, yeah. What do you make of the away goals rule being taken away?
I think it advantages some teams quite a bit, like Atleti, for example, who are clutch kings and always go down to the wire and win games in extra time. I think that is, or added time, if you will. It just advantages some teams, but I guess it makes it a little bit more unpredictable and a little bit more exciting. But it's just very hard to get used to that away goals aren't going to matter anymore, because sometimes if you go and score 2 goals away from home, the ties are almost wrapped up at that point, because the next team's got to score 3 when they come back the other way. So it's a little bit more unpredictable having no away goals. I don't mind it, but yeah, I just think it's going to have to take a little bit getting used to, because you'll be thinking like, oh, aggregate, right, okay, 3 goals, like they're good, but then you're like, no, because it doesn't even count anymore. Like it just doesn't matter.
No, definitely not. It is 2-0 Arsenal now. Smith Rowe has scored, so it is 2-0 to the Gunners. Yeah, but obviously with Atletico not obviously drawing Manchester United, are you happy with Manchester United?
I'm happier. I wouldn't say I'm happy, but I'm happier than I was. I think that I honestly think, like, total not like bias aside, I think that'll be the most interesting matchup of the round, because tactically, Simeone and Ralph Rangnick are extremely astute tactically. They are both literal tacticians. So whether they cancel each other out, it might be an extremely boring, like 1 goal wins it. It might be like that, or you might see some incredible tactics and some incredible football on display if you love football as a game. So yeah, I think it'll be really, really, really exciting. And I'm actually really looking forward to it, because Simeone's under a little bit of pressure this season, just with the way that the league's going. And I would love to get one over Manchester United, because Newcastle United aren't going to do it. So it's going to have to be someone else. So maybe it might be Atleti, but again, I'm not confident at all, and I think it'll be a really, really good matchup.
Yeah, definitely. Speak of the goodness me, Reece, you timed that very well. Look forward to that game. It's going to be tough, but I can see some surprise in the store come February. Yeah, I think the draw is pretty good. Anyway, obviously PSG, Real Madrid. I mean, Real Madrid are going from Benfica to PSG, so they ain't going to be happy.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. In fact, to be honest, I did originally I did see that Real Madrid were trying to get their fixture to stand because it was the first one pulled out. So they were like, well, we weren't affected, like, because it hadn't happened then. So they were trying to get their fixture to stand, but it never. And obviously they ended up with PSG. But Real Madrid are walking away with the league at the moment. They're doing extremely well. A lot of players are very, very good. So I think that'll be an incredible game. And I almost laughed because everyone was like, oh, you know, Messi, Messi's going back to his old stomping ground. Like, he's going to score against Real Madrid. Then everyone just literally forgot that Sergio Ramos had gone to PSG in the summer. No one even mentioned that, like, Sergio Ramos was going to be going back to Real Madrid. And then I saw a picture and it was like, oh, you know, like, it was like Ramos in the mirror, a cartoon of Ramos in the mirror wearing a PSG shirt, but in the mirror it was Real Madrid. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, shit, I forgot about that. It was like everyone was just pulling about Messi, but I forgot about that as well.
Yeah, definitely. Reese has said, hope you're both good. And Doug, you know me, where chaos follows, I appear. Yeah, absolutely. And Nadir, I do know it is 2-0 to Arsenal. But yeah, obviously, Atletico Madrid going from Bayern Munich to Manchester United. I mean, Bayern Munich, I think you would probably say, yeah, probably no chance. So yeah, give us Manchester United. Not as I said, the Champions League trophy. I've never seen anything like it. Funnily enough, I was on stream when the first draw happened, and I saw Villarreal Man United come out, and I was like, I know. Something's not right there, because you look at that draw, and you think Villarreal got Man United. That's not right. They were in the same draw. Did you then see the other mistake that they made was they put the Liverpool ball into the Atletico Madrid pot?
Yeah. Like, it was just all shambles from that point onwards. Like, immediately when they didn't put Manchester United in for Atletico Madrid, it just all went wrong from then. Like, just everything was going wrong. And I was like thinking, I was looking at it thinking, that's not right. Because obviously it came up with a red square. And it was like Villarreal. I was like, you can't do that. Like, they do this to not do that. And I was like, oh, they've messed it up. And then I thought, oh, I know, because I honestly thought because Manchester United had drawn PSG and it was like Messi versus Ronaldo, that they were going to keep it the way it was. I thought they're going to make it like they're going to figure out a way to keep them like the fixtures the way that they are. But then lo and behold, they didn't, and they had to do it again. And I think everyone almost thought they messed up again, because they were saying, well, Liverpool can't be pulled out against Villarreal. And I was like, well, why can't Liverpool be pulled out against Villarreal? But it was obviously because it was Inter Milan and and Real Madrid left over. So Real Madrid couldn't play Inter because it was the same group. And and Juventus obviously couldn't play each other because it was the same country. So, yeah, everyone was like, I honestly thought, I was on a space and I was like, oh, bloody hell, they messed up again. And I didn't watch the second draw. I just waited for the fixtures to come out. Sorry, I didn't watch it. I was listening to it. I didn't watch it, so I didn't know what was happening. I was like, oh no, like they've messed it up again. But obviously they didn't. So
Reese has said, I'll need to remind specific for Newcastle ownership situation. But question for Kendall, how are you feeling now with the ownership change, and what future do you see for Newcastle United long term?
Obviously, it helps that the owners actually want to invest in the club, because that's something we've not had for a long time. If anyone missed the news yesterday, we have been allowed to get a Saudi sponsor, which a lot of clubs were trying to stop. Specifically, Daniel Levy was trying to stop us from getting that. So it has been ruled in court that we are allowed to have a Saudi sponsor, which helps us because Mike Ashley has, no exaggeration, been using Newcastle United as a free advertising tool for Sports Direct. I think he's paid over 10 years £1,350, and that is it to advertise Sports Direct in the stadium. So we haven't had a lucrative sponsor in that amount of time in 15 years, so it'll be amazing. That'll be great for us. Obviously, a lot of other clubs aren't happy about that, but I understand there's going to be financial boundaries, and you're going to say, well, you can't get a sponsor that's worth way more than what you make or whatever. I get that, but the fact that we've been allowed it just helps us a little bit. The ownership, obviously, there is questions around that, and Saudi Arabia and things like that, which I've covered extensively myself. And I don't agree with a lot of things that have gone on or do go on, but they aren't the only country that has its own issues. We have ours I was right here at home. So my focus is football solely, but I do think that it is a good thing that we now have a platform to speak about certain human rights issues and things like that goes on in Saudi Arabia as Newcastle fans. I do think it's good that we have a platform for that. But long term, I think Reece, I do think that it's very long term that we're looking at. So 10 years, I believe that we're probably going to be top 4 side. I don't think any sooner than that. I think maybe 6 years will be our first trophy, like the FA Cup or the League Cup. I don't think the league by any means. But I do think it'll probably be a significantly long-term project, because when I say the club is in absolute disarray from top to bottom, I cannot stress that enough. It is not a well-run club at all, which anyone knows. But even below the surface, there is no structure at the club. The academy is extremely poor. We sold all of our contracts that we had with the local grassroots clubs, the famous ones like Wallsend Boys Club and Fulwell Juniors that the likes of Michael Carrick came from, Jordan Henderson. We sold our contracts to Chelsea and Liverpool for those clubs, so we don't even have grassroots links anymore. The whole club needs a total and utter revamp, really. So
definitely. This once again, you have proven they're more incompetent than the British government. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Do you know about that one, Reece, mind?
Yeah, I don't think so. Respect that response, and all over YouTube and social media, delusional fans exist and just chat utter shit. At least we're hearing someone just speak sense and with reason. Well, absolutely. And Liz Golden has said, hello, Liz. Kendall, you seem lovely. Don't care for your new owners. I wish your team good luck, though, just not against LFC. And Mike Ashley and his links to Rangers is why I hate the twat. I'm glad you're finally free of him to the new future of the Newcastle United. Yeah, no more Sports Direct Arena. I remember when it was called that, and I was like, no. It's St James's Park. It's St James's Park.
I generally stopped playing PES. Like I used to love PES more than FIFA. I used to just prefer Pro Evo, and I literally stopped playing PES for like years. I have not gone back to it because they allowed it to be called Sports Direct Arena.
No!
I know their rights and stuff. They don't have the rights like FIFA do, and I know they have to it was like Merseyside Blues and all that. I do get that, but still they allowed it to be called Sports Direct Arena. So I was like, yeah, I'm just not even gonna play that anymore.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Before we finish, guys, does anyone have any other questions for me or Kendall? So, how many points realistically do you think you will get out of Liverpool City United?
None. I'm just not expecting any at all. No. I thought if we were going to get points this month, it would be from Leicester and Everton, if possible. Like I said, 4 points I'll be happy with. So that was a win and a draw, and that was against Liverpool and Everton. Leicester and Everton. That's what I thought. So yeah, I'm not expecting a single point from the next 3 games at all. But the fact is, the Leicester result wasn't really what I expected either. So that was slightly annoying. Yeah, we realistically needed 2 wins. That's not happening. So at any point. So yeah, none from the next 3 games, and we'll have to win against Everton.
Reece is calling you an elite gamer because you've played Pro Evo.
You know what? Genuinely, I don't play like any games, to be honest. I much prefer I know it's like so off topic, but I much prefer like older console games. So I much prefer like Skyrim is my favorite game of all time, categorically like my number 1 by a mile. But the remaster on like the different Skyrim on PS4 was never good enough. I like PS3 Skyrim. So I don't actually even have a PS4 anymore because I wasn't like interested in playing any games on there. And what I did do in lockdown was get my PS2 back out because I found it in my mum's house. So
nice.
I've been buying like bits of games from that point because I much prefer San Andreas on the PS2 because it's like a throwback. It's almost like nostalgic. I like the the original. And then I just recently bought FIFA Street and
that was a game and a half. That
the Cortex, which was my other favourite. So yeah, an elite gamer, maybe a nostalgic gamer is probably where I am right now.
I like it. Hey, Liz, man red and man blue. Oh yeah. Merseyside red, Merseyside blue. Didn't they have a weird name for Newcastle as well? Wasn't it like Tyneside or something?
Could have been, yeah, could have been. Juventus is called something like strange as well, like an Italian name. Arsenal was a different one as well. Arsenal had a different name. I can't remember off the top of my head.
The Juventus one is killing me because that was in FIFA last year.
Was it?
I just can't think. I just can't think what it's called. Reese, you'll probably know. You watch a lot of Italian football. Oh, here we go. Question for you both. Newcastle currently in the bottom three. What do Newcastle need to do to survive this season? Win games. Probably get a couple of players in. I mean, would you want a cup run, or is it just so focused on survival?
I'm not bothered about the cup. I think that's just utterly like out of our reach right now. We do have Cambridge United at home, so it is a good draw in our opinion. But I just don't think that's our priority whatsoever. It is absolutely to stay up. So yeah, to survive, no one has ever survived in the position that we're in right now. No one's ever saved themselves from this position.
Yeah.
So I'm not confident at all. However, the standard of the league below 10th this year is quite poor. So I think that might just help us a little bit along the way, because Leeds aren't doing well, Watford aren't doing well, Burnley aren't doing well, Norwich aren't doing well. So that's 4 teams that are also doing quite badly. So which is you normally kind of see a gap at this point onwards, but there isn't much of a one, which helps us significantly, especially because in January, probably no team in the past has had as much money in January as we do to spend in this position. So that's probably a little bit helpful. But we've literally, if we can't win, we need a draw. And that sounds like a Michael Owen comment, but like I just cannot. We literally just need not to lose, and that is all we can do going forward. And I can't believe I'm even going to quote Steve Bruce, but it literally is an accumulation of points for us at the moment. We just need points. So as long as we don't lose, I think we might be okay.
Yeah, Liz Gorman was just asked that. I was just answering that question. Skyrim is a beautiful game. I do think Newcastle will stay up. I think Watford will be dragged into it. I think this could be the season Leeds go down if they keep Bielsa. I think Bielsa's been found out now. I think he's been found out anyway. Speaking of fellow Geordies, how are you, mate? I'm good. How are you? Kendall, where are you from in the northeast? I'm from Whitley Bay.
Well, I'm from Durham. So yeah, not quite close to Whitley Bay. I'm not really a Geordie, because I'm not from Newcastle, but yeah, I'm from Durham.
I'm not going to sing the Pink Panther theme tune because every
it's the only time people know us. I think that's like from that joke. I think that's the only reason people know where Durham is.
Skyrim, you've gone up in my estimation. Original to remaster. I've got the PS2 on in the background playing FIFA. Oh my gosh, now that was a game and a half as well.
Elite race, elite.
Tyneside and Wearside FIFA is Piemonte Calcio. That's it. I knew it began with a P, but I couldn't remember.
I knew it was a P as well. I wanted to say Piemont, but like obviously it's similar, but I wanted to say Piemont, but yeah.
Yeah, and Lazio was Latium. That sounds like an element, Latium.
It does, yeah.
That does sound like it as well. Would you take relegation to ensure a better future, or do you think you can survive?
I just think relegation would set us back 2 years, and we just, as a club, like when you have that much money, like you really don't need that at all. I think that's the last thing you want. And my issue is that means that we have to rebuild 2 summers in a row, because if we go down, they're going to just keep the squad because they're championship level. Whereas it's going to take us another year on top of that to rebuild again. So like, I don't want to get relegated this season. So I don't even care if we stay up by 1 goal difference. As long as we stay up, that is genuinely all I care about. But yeah, I do get the question in terms of like, if it meant like you were going to be successful in like a short amount of time, would you take relegation? And you know what? I would, because if it's in the best interests of the club, I would. But just right now, I just think that's probably the last thing that we need or want.
Yeah, definitely. Tom May, wow. Hello, Tom. Evertonian, would you cut your losses and not sign anyone in January, go down and rebuild in the Championship and sign players for the next Prem season? That's an interesting question, that.
Again, as I've said, probably not, because it'll set us another 2 years back, because a newly promoted side, I'm not going to attract the players that you think that we might simply through money. It's just not going to happen. So that puts us back another year simply because we don't have the players that we need to succeed. So going down right now is just like the very last thing in any scenario that we need, because it's just going to put the plans. So it'll be like 12 years rather than 10. So yeah, it's not the best. But as I say, I would take it if it meant that it was in the best interest of the club going forward. But I just don't think it is at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, here we go. Newcastle need the Kardashian. I don't know if you watched or I've seen on my Twitter, but Reece made a comment about Lukaku being Luke Kardashian, which I thought was absolutely hilarious, and it just made me laugh. So he now knows Lukaku is Luke Kardashian. Land of Prince Bishops.
Yeah, that's Durham.
Oh, Durham. Yeah. I think Newcastle want null and void right now.
Absolutely. There was like people making jokes yesterday, like, right, the Newcastle players just need to go and lick bus stops and stuff to get like ill before the games, like this coming fixtures. And I was laughing so much yesterday. I was like, oh my god! But yeah, I've said it on Twitter. I was like, you know what? I think that they should just void this season off. You know, like just keep everyone in the league, no relegations. Of course I do. Wait until after January and then see where we're at. Of course I want to go.
Yeah, definitely.
What do avoid if they're going to like keep the positions and then we go down though? I don't want that.
No, definitely no. Bergamo Calcio is Atalanta talk about. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, Pro Evo must have caught the Italian rights, obviously. Mick Moran of the Copite podcast. Hello, Mick. Hope you are doing very well, my friend. And Liz Golden has asked another question. Who do you think Newcastle buy in January?
Yeah, as I said, so Trippier looks to be pretty much set in stone at the moment, but it is Newcastle, so I'm not too confident. Yeah, Trippier, Tarkowski is another one, and Lingard's another one as well. Yeah,
definitely. You would take to get relegated. Just because of the fact you're going to eventually win trophies and build an elite team on and off the pitch, how long does Eddie Howe get as Newcastle manager?
I just think he gets as long as is necessary, really, at the moment, because obviously, as we mentioned earlier in the stream, I think that 2.5 years is a good deal to be on right now, because they haven't thought too far into the long term. Don't know where we're going to be come the end of the season. So yeah, I think everyone's very happy to be patient, very happy to be supportive of Eddie Howe. It shows you significantly when Eddie Howe's been here a month and has a song already, and Steve Bruce, who claimed to be a Newcastle fan, I will realise that did not even get his name sang once on the terraces in Newcastle in 2.5 years. So yeah, it shows you everything, shows how much we are behind him, and yeah, just gets as long as he needs, really.
Oh, here we go. Here's some names coming out. Dele Alli.
Yeah, I have seen that. I mean, he's significantly better than anything we have. However, he's not the man you need in a relegation battle, so probably not.
And his hair is absolutely ridiculous. Risa said you can have Phil Jones for 40 million and Lingard for 60 million.
I was like begging for Phil Jones in the summer. I was desperate. I was like, oh my god, we actually need we just need anyone. I don't even care who we bring in. I just need Phil Jones. So I would have took that probably off you in the summer, but now we might have a little bit more of an option.
Tarkowski free at the end of the season. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I did say Nat Phillips. Yeah. Hi, Mick, and also 1892, and you'd be better off with Lingard than Ali.
Well, I do think I would
100%.
take Lingard. I would take Lingard. I would.
I would. I think you would as well. Kendall, this last hour and 5 minutes has gone by so quickly. I could talk to you for football for a long time anyway. But thank you very, very much for coming on this evening.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. Where can they find you? Because you're doing more Twitch now than YouTube, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm a Twitch affiliate now, so I am on the sports program. So yeah, I do a lot more over on Twitch, but it is just Kendall Rowan. If you do want to find me, Kendall Rowan is literally all my socials. So YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, anything like that. It is just Kendall Rowan. You will find me there. But yeah, Twitch, I'm still learning Twitch. I really am not familiar with it at all. I think it's so much more hard to work than YouTube, but that's probably because I'm not used to it. But yeah, Twitch is probably going to be where most of my stuff is going forward.
Yeah, and I will definitely leave that in the description below. 1892's podcast has just literally asked, Kendall, fancy jumping on our review tomorrow night after the game?
Yeah, just shout me. I have got another stream, but just shout me and I will see what I can sort out.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Thing is, Phil Jones and Lingard may not be best suited to us anymore, but they could be fantastic for Newcastle. That is. I don't think Newcastle are going to take Adrian. We'll pay for you to take him. Yeah, he's gone down the pecking order now. I think he's probably 4th or 5th choice goalkeeper. Great work. Thank you very much. 1890 to this podcast. First time I've listened to Kendall live. It's usually replays. I get to listen. I'll watch your Twitch. If you need any more help with it, let me know. Been on Twitch since January.
Thank you. I do know.
And can I just say, I absolutely love the fact that you are supporting content creators. I think that's lovely.
Yeah, you have to. Like, I don't get bitterness and jealousy in this industry because we all start somewhere, and I just think like it's so rude when people get to a certain amount of followers or a certain amount of subscribers or anything like that and think that they are suddenly like elite. I don't get that. You only get to that point by putting in hard work. It's a very off occasion that, you know, someone will achieve something like that just through simply nothing. So yeah, so if you ever watch any of my streams, if you ever follow me on Twitter or anything like that, I'll always now and again I'll put a tweet out and just say like, if you have any content, if you are a YouTuber, if you're a Twitch streamer, if you are a small business owner, you know, if you're a blogger, if you're a writer, like just if you want to leave anything below, and I will retweet everyone and try and get everyone to support, because I just don't see the point. If we help each other and creators come together, then you are going to achieve so much more than ignoring people. So yeah, 100%. I'm always about that, always.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've given me, a moderator on your channel, and I totally commend. So thank you very much, legend. I'll message you, Kendall, tomorrow. Thank you. You'll never walk alone. And the final comment: absolutely nothing better than good collaboration, working with others. Opportunity is rare. Douglas gave me mine. Yeah, absolutely. I have definitely. Douglas jumped on our pod the other day. Always one of our biggest supporters when we started. She's a better Geordie than Ant and Dec.
Wow, I wouldn't go that far, East Mind. I must admit that's like blasphemy, but I'll take the compliment.
And I need to have Kendall on to talk about Atletico, says Michael Talks Football. Guys, if you have obviously missed this preview, then obviously please watch it back. It's been absolutely fantastic. I'll obviously timestamp into the bits we've obviously talked about. We've talked about Champions League fiasco. We've talked about watch that bit. That was hilarious. We've also talked about, obviously, Newcastle's takeover. Eddie Howe. There's been a lot in this preview, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Erisa said, I love to help channels. I appear on so many and always shout out on me. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what it's about. And Alan Patterson says, hi, my English team is Newcastle. We have no chance tomorrow. What a way to dampen the mood, eh? What a way to dampen.
I'm kidding. No, I agree. Don't worry.
Yeah, but thank you very much for watching this this preview, and go and check out Kendall's socials. Absolutely fantastic, and yeah, it's absolutely brilliant to get to collab with her finally. We have been meaning to do it for ages, and tonight was the night we managed to do it. But from I'm getting my words out. I'm getting my words out again. From both of us, we will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye for now.